Hi, I'm Marilyn, and I want to welcome you today to Exposing Grief. When we expose anything, it becomes less threatening. To expose loss and grief will provide us with some emotional control. In 2020, we laid the foundation for these conversations. Over 12 episodes, we outlined how loss and grief can and does occur at any age or any stage in life. You can go back and listen to those foundational podcast episodes, or you can begin listening today as part of your journey to become more mentally and emotionally healthy. This journey to emotional well-being is personal. You cannot force or coerce anyone to be more healthy, whether physically or mentally. The person has to be willing to do all the hard work in order to see results. You can, however, encourage them that it is possible to be successful. I wanted to mention that I have a friend whose pet was euthanized due to illness. Since we are close friends, this secondhand grief is affecting me as well. Just being aware that this grief is a possibility has helped me to stay balanced. Knowledge can benefit our emotional well-being in positive ways. Today's topic is about loss of progeny. The word progeny simply means children or descendants. The loss and grief comes about when someone realizes that they are the last link in that particular branch of their family tree. There are many reasons this can occur, and it is not our intent to cover every reason this phenomena happens. The reasons mentioned are meant to be an overview of the occurrence. First, let's talk about those who choose not to have children. There are many reasons people choose not to be parents. Some people say this is because of selfishness. Is it selfish to know what you want and then go after it? I believe it is better not to bring children into the world if you really have no desire to be a parent. Parenting done well is difficult. In the long run, knowing yourself saves a child from years of heartache and pain, and maybe even therapy. There are also those who do not have children because of reproductive issues. The cost of in vitro fertilization or even surrogacy can be quite expensive. Some people do not even consider those as options. If those processes were cheaper, perhaps they would or perhaps not. Some people simply accept their fate in life and move forward. Some people believe that adoption can be an option, but there are those who want their biological children, and adoption is not an option for them. That is okay. It is all a personal choice. I would also like to mention those who have lost children, whether in childhood or adulthood, and those children had no children. Sometimes couples can even experience the loss of multiple children, resulting in no grandchildren being birthed. There's also war, abortion, and criminal activity that can cause death of a child. How often all of these misfortunes occur statistically is difficult to ascertain. But for certain, we know these losses can and do happen. Generally, there is no thought about lineage until years later, when a person suddenly realizes there's no one to inherit their stuff, or anyone who will call them grandmother or grandfather. The thought of being the final link on their line of the family tree becomes a stark reality. When the realization does happen, it is normal to grieve the loss of that potential or decision which may have happened years prior. It is not productive to beat yourself up over prior decisions. As we inch closer to death, we do reflect on the past, but realizing the past is history which cannot be changed helps us to stay in balance mentally and emotionally. Can we really go back and change any prior circumstances in our lives? The answer is no, we cannot. We acknowledge that the circumstances happened and then seek for ways to move forward. Grief is part of the process of moving forward. Many times, life just happens. So finding peace of mind in each situation is critical. Yes, it would be wonderful if we could control every outcome in our lives, but we cannot. Recognition and acceptance of those facts, along with grieving losses, goes a long way toward our mental and emotional stability. These conversations about loss, grief, and emotional well-being are necessary and perhaps long overdue. Be a part of these important conversations. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to visit with you next time on Exposing Grief.